All right, guys, working my way through some challenge locks. I got this little box in from Brian's Lock Sport. I did unwrap it. He had it stapled here, and then I read in the letter, which I'll read offline. He says, Bill, here's attempt number 2 at getting one of those pack locks. I had to staple it because the hasp on the front is terrible. Looks like he had it glued on there at one time. Don't use your rat yoke on this one. I couldn't bear it if you broke such a pretty pick. Oh, yeah. I won't be using that. On extra strong springs and a narrow keyway that I put in this one. I left the key visible on purpose so you can see what kind of mayhem you're working with. I rewatched your psychological warfare videos. And that is not the key. I did unwrap some foam and take a quick look in here. It took me 2 weeks to get everything situated with this lock because I don't have the proper lock lab, and I did all the grinding and filing by hand. I did manage to pick this guy, but it was a struggle, and I put almost 40 hours into picking attempts. I figure it won't take you as long, but I feel like you might need to make some custom tools, and he might be right. Also, he's included a couple of eagle locks. You see that there? Mostly to give away. I'm donating them to the tribe. I sent all this in a box because I didn't want the key to break. Speaking of the key, the strong springs make you really have to cram it in and yank it out with some force. When I read that the first time, I tried to yank it out, and as it turns out, this is not the key. The key, let me move all this stuff out of the way and grab this little bag, is, and I haven't tried it yet, right here. Let me pull them out. The key is right here. So let's try it. We ignore everything missing from the bottom because I think when we slide them in, we'll probably be able to pull this stuff out. But take a look at the hand cut bitting on this one. So pretty impressive. I think Brian has definitely done his homework. All right, so we've seen keys like this before, split keys. I think Sparrows makes one. They're motel and hotel keys. It works perfectly. And now we should be able, to pull this guy out. Or not. You can see he goes all the way through there. But there's something stopping him from coming out of there. So I think Brian probably put something on the bottom because he does move, so we know it's not glued or pinned. So maybe there's a pin from the side, or possibly there's a notch on the bottom or something to prevent the removal of this. It did work, and it works perfectly. So there really couldn't be a lot on the bottom unless he put it all the way around and put a groove in that bottom part of that key, but he's definitely not coming out of there. So looks like what Brian has done here is try to deprive us of working space. On these Schlage keyways in the past, or what I've been doing lately, is taking some of these 10,000th picks from Rare Elements and then working from the bottom because it gets around that piece of warding. But I think Brian has figured that out, and now he's preventing us. So we got to come up with a different plan. He did mention a custom tool. I probably could. Well, let's go ahead and clamp him up and see what we got here. All right, what I could do is, let me see here. Talk about making a custom tool. I could probably take a piece of steel, cut a slot in it, and then slide it up over that, and then use that to tension it and give myself just this upper part to work with. But, wow, there are some super springs in here, and that key does get in the way. All right, I think pin 5 is like a super spring. It does go in there, so let's try it the easy way first. Schlage keyway. I'm going to use this one. This is a 1.2 millimeter from Multipick. I don't have a lot of room to work there. Let's go ahead and mark it. We'll try it, and if that doesn't work, then I'll make a tool to go around that key. All right, see what we got. Shove them all the way in past that second super spring. Get in there. All right, now around the edge. Looking for a binder. There we go. Pin 3. Got a nice little click out of him. Let me zoom in just a little bit and keep this centered so the autofocus will work. All right. All right, I just went by pin 5, the super spring, and I felt a very tiny turn on the core. And now I'm stuck. There we go. That was the pick sliding by that key segment, so that was not a pin. Looking for counter rotation. Okay, that was not counter rotation, but I got a click on 2. All right, 4 is on the bottom. All pushing against the bottom of the keyway, so I got under him. Okay, there was counter rotation. I do have a little bit of fault set now. Get under that pin. Where is the counter rotation? There he is. It is on pin 5. Okay, I got a little click. More of a crunch. Okay, that was counter rotation on 3, and I got a nice little fault set going. I may not be able to reach up high enough because of that. That may be part of Brian's plan. I'm not getting any counter rotation. Make sure the tip is not broken off. I am really forcing them to, putting a lot of pressure on those pins. There we go. All right. I did not expect that. So there's a very, very high cut one. We kind of knew that, but I didn't realize just how high cut it was. This guy right here. He is right up there at the shear line. Let me zoom out. Move all this stuff out of the way. Get a pinning tray. I wonder why that. We're going to figure it out real quick why that guy doesn't come out. Let me lock it back up. And try not to gouge my pinning tray when I take that out of there. Let me get the right size screwdriver so you guys don't. For you guys to keep track of that stuff. Okay, a little bit of thread locker on there. That one too. That thing still doesn't want to come out of there. All right, he didn't say use shims, but I've learned my lesson. That's the right size, right? Yep, okay. Get in there. Oops. All right, I'm going to put him just like that. And let's see how it goes. All right, there is some alien tech here right on the front. And I would be willing to bet, whoops, get that probe right here and right here, done with a Dremel tool. These are probably for a trap pin. So I'll bet you we find a T-pin with a sharp tip in position number 1 up in the upper chambers. All right, I don't quite know what to do with this. He's still not coming out, so let's not mess with him just yet. Let's go ahead and pull these key pins out. So I get a standard, ooh, very sharp spool, a standard, a double spool, almost a serrated, but the cuts are too smooth. This is definitely a serrated. And inside of here, in chamber 1, 2, 4, and 5 all threaded. Now why aren't you, now he comes out. Ah, this was one of those lock kills. So that's how he prevented me from getting that out of there. I could have snapped that off in the back and been in it. Okay, get rid of that. And let's see what Brian's got here. Whoa, okay, there was a washer. Oh, I just dropped it. There he is. Oh, I just dropped him again. And there's that T-pin. So I think I picked him to the correct level because the washer was in the top chamber and it was blocking that needle from coming down. Let me set this down here. So if I had not picked him to the correct level, this guy would have popped down and probably gotten snagged up, giving me a very deep fault set, either clockwise or counterclockwise, as that tip got trapped in one of those 2 holes that Brian put in there. So very cool. If he'd done it on more than one, I probably would have ended up in a very deep fault set. But thank goodness we only had it on trap pin on 1. All right, spring. We know they're super springs, and I want to look at him. All right, number 2. A very long, I'm going to call that a serrated pin. It's almost like a ask a Christmas tree because it is tapered. I don't think, oh yeah, this. I was going to say, I don't think this is a super spring, but we got a whole mess of them that just came out of there, a whole nest of springs. All right, number 3 is a plain old standard. And a weak little brass one. All right, let's take a look at number 5. Wow, he shot out of there. And there's something in the top of him, a little cup cut in the top of that pin. And it has, I'm going to call it a spool, even though there's a couple of serrations. It's a serrated spool. How about that? It's a spool with a serration cut right in the center of it. I don't know how much good that would do, but And there is a spring from a Bic lighter. And number 4. Not too strong. It is a homemade spool. Very nice. And little steel spring, but not nearly as strong as that guy for sure. And that should be all we have in here. Yep. I don't see any modifications to the body of the lock other than these super springs. The plate's still in place, so it'd really be hard to thread anything without removing that plate, and that looks completely original. All right, let's get him back over here. So why would we have a groove or a little cup cut in that? And I can't answer that. Maybe Brian started out to do something like with it. There might have been a T-pin on the top of this to engage in that groove. I really don't know, but this is now ground flat and there's nothing to fit in the groove. So let's just call it an experimentation error, a byproduct. How about that? Here's what we're looking at, guys. Only one trap pin right here. All the rest of these are, there's a homemade spool, 2 standards in chamber number 3. And number 4, we have, I'm going to call those serrations with the spool on top. And then a very sharp, that really is a serrated spool. That's what I have to call it. And a homemade spool on the top. The only chamber that is not threaded is number 3, and that's the one with the standard pins. So Brian did exactly the right thing. All the rest of them are threaded to trap the sharp edges on all those homemade pins. Brian, you did a great job. And this is probably one of the most innovative ways I found to rob me of working space inside of the keyway. So great job on that too. Good imagination. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe, stay legal. Thanks, Brian. If you like the idea of growing the lock sport community, please consider supporting the Lock Lab by either becoming a Patreon or clicking the join button below.